Import Math tool provides mathematical functions. Pygame, a set of Python modules designed for writing video games. SYS tool provides access to some variables used or maintained by the Python interpreter. OS tool provides portable way of using operating system-dependent functionality. Copy tool provides functions for copying objects. Time to provides various time-related functions. Random to provides functions for generating random numbers. Pygame.gfxdraw to provides additional drawing functions for Pygame. Pygame.locus to imports all constants from the Pygame. This Python code defines several constants used in the program. FES stands for frames per second, so it's set to 120 frames per second. The window width defines the width of the game window, set to 600 pixels. Windows height defines the height of the game window, set to 480 pixels. Text height specifies the height of text elements, set to 20 pixels. Bubble radius specifies the radius of the bubble, set to 20 pixels. Bubble width calculates the width of the bubble by multiplying the radius by 2. Bubble layers define the numbers of layers in the bubble, set to 5. Bubble adjust specifies an adjustments for the y position of the bubble. Start x defines the starting x coordinate for the bubble, set to the middle of the window width. Start y defines the starting y coordinate for the bubble, set to a value slightly above the bottom of the window. Array width specifies the width of an array used in the program, set to 16. Array height specifies the height of an array used in the program, set to 14. These constants provides a convenient way to adjust various parameters in the program without directly changing numerical values throughout the code. Right, left, and blank are defined as strings. These seem to represent directions, right and left, and an empty space blank in the game logic. Colors. These are tuffles representing RGB, red, green, and blue, values for various colors used in the game. In Pygames, colors are typically represented as a tuffles of three integers ranging from 0 to 255, representing the intensity of red, green, and blue components respectively. Examples including gray, navy blue, white, red, green, blue, yellow, orange, purple, cyan, black, and calm blue. For the background color, I choose white. Then color list, green, red, blue, yellow, orange, purple, and cyan. So this part of the code defines a class named Bubble that represents bubbles in the game. Initialization or init method. This is a special method in Python classes that is automatically called when a new object of the class is created. Self.rect. This is a Pygame.rect object representing the rectangular area occupied by the bubble on the screen. Self.rect.centerx and self.rect.centery. These attributes set the initial positions of the bubble on the screen, start x and start y. Self.color. This attribute stores the colors of the bubble. Self.color. This attribute stores the color of the bubble. Self.radius. This attribute represents the radius of the bubble. Self.angle. This attribute represents the angle. Self.row and self.column. These attributes store the row and columns indices of the bubble in the game grid. This update method in the bubble class is responsible for updating the position of the bubble based on its current angle of movement. So this method first checks the values of self.angle. If self.angle is exactly 90 degrees, the bubble is moving vertically upwards. If self.angle is less than 90 degrees, it means the bubble is moving in the first quadrant. If self.angle is greater than 90 degrees, it means the bubble is moving in the second quadrant. Updating position. After calculating the movement in the x and y directions, the method updates the positions of the bubbles by adding these values to its current position. This is done by modifying the self.rect.x and self.rect.y attributes of the bubble, which represents its position in the screen. These are additional methods within the bubble class. This method is responsible for drawing the bubble on the screen. It uses the pygame.gfxDraw.fieldCircle functions to draw a field circle representing the bubble with a specified color. The position of the circle is determined by the center coordinates of the bubble's rectangular area. The circle's radius is self.radius. Additionally, it uses the pygame.gfxDraw.aaCircle functions to draw an anti-alias circle around the bubble, giving it a smooth appearance. The anti-alias circle is drawn with a gray color. These methods calculates the horizontal and vertical components of the bubble's movement based on the given angle. They take an angle in degrees as input and return the corresponding movement's component using trigonometric functions. The angle is converted to radians using math.radians because trigonometric functions in Python's math module expect angles in radians. In xCalculate, the horizontal movement is calculated using the cosine of the angle, and in yCalculate, the vertical movement is using the sine of the angle. The speed of movement is multiplied by the trigonometric function's result to determine the magnitude of movement in each direction. The negative sign in yCalculate ensures that the bubble moves upwards when the angle is measured counterclockwise from the positive x-axis, which is typically the convention in mathematics. These methods together handles the drawing of the bubble on the screen and the calculation of its movements in both x and y directions based on the given angle. This arrow class defines a sprite for an arrow object in the game. The initialization method is called when a new arrow object is created. Pygame.sprite, this line initializes the sprite object. Self.angle is equals to 90. This sets the initial angle of the arrow to 90 degrees. Arrow image is equals to pygame.image.load. This loads an image of an arrow from a file named arrow.png. Arrow image.convert alpha. This converts the loaded image to a format that is optimized the faster bleeding with the pixel alpha. Arrow rect is equals to arrow image.get.rect. This gets the rectangular area occupied by the arrow image. Self.transform image. Self.image. This assigns the same image to the transform image attribute. Self.rect is equals to arrow rect. This assigns the rectangle obtained from the arrow image to the rect. Self.rex.centerx is equals to startx and self.rect.center is equals to starty. This line set the initial positions of the arrows right to the coordinates specified by start_x and start_y. These variables are assumed to be defined elsewhere in the code. This class sets up the basic properties of an arrow sprite, including its initial angle, image, position, and on the screen. These are methods within the arrow class. Update method. This method updates the arrow's angle based on the given directions. If the direction is left and the current angle of the arrow is less than 180 degrees, the angle is increased by 2 degrees. This rotates the arrow to the left. If the direction is right and the current angle of the arrow is greater than 0 degrees, the angle is decreased by 2 degrees. This rotates the arrow to the right. After updating the angle, the method rotates the arrow image accordingly using pygame.transforms.rotate. Passing in the current image and the updated angle, the result is assigned to self-transform image. The method then updates the rectangle of the arrow sprite to match the rotated image rectangles. Finally, it sets the positions of the arrow sprite to start x and start y. Draw method. This method is responsible for drawing the arrow sprite on the screen. It uses the bleed functions of the display surface to draw the transform image onto the screen at the position specified by the rectangle. This method works together to update the angle of the arrow sprite based on their user input. Rotate the arrow image accordingly and draw the rotated arrow image on the screen at the specified position. This score class manages the score in the game. The initialization method initializes the score. Self.total starts at 0, representing the initial score. Self.font defines the font used for rendering the score text. It's set to a pygame.font.sysFont object with a font size of 15 and the font type Helvetica. Self.render creates a rendered text surface that displays the score. Self.rect retrieves the rectangle that encloses the rendered text surface. The rectangle's position is set to 5 Windows height, -5, which places the score text at the bottom left corner of the window. Update method. This method updates the score based on the number of bubbles deleted. It makes delete list as input, which presumably contains the bubbles that has been deleted. The score increases by 10 points for each bubble deleted, multiplied by the length of delete list. After updating the score, self.render is updated to reflect the new score text. This method draws the rendered scored text onto the game screen. It uses display.surf.blit to blit the rendered scored text onto the screen at the position specified by the self.rect. This method allows the score to be updated and displayed on the game screen during gameplay. The score increases as bubbles deleted, providing feedback to the player on their progress. This main function serves as the entry point for running the game. Initialization. It initializes pygame.init, set the window captions to puzzle bubble, and creates a clock object to control the frame rate of the game. It sets the main point used in the game to Helvetica with a specified text height. It calls the makeDisplay functions to create the display surface and its corresponding rectangle. These are used for rendering graphics and handling collisions within the game environment. Game loop while true. The main loop runs continuously until the game is exited. Inside the loop, it calls the runGame function to start the game and obtain the score and whether the player won or lost. After the game is finished, it calls the endScreen function to display an end screen with the final score and outcome. This function initializes the game, runs the main game loop, and handles the end of the game by displaying the final score and outcome. This runGame function is to handle the main logic for running the game. For music and sound, music list contains the file names of the music tracks to be played during the game. Pygame loads and plays the first music tracks using pygame.mixer.music.load and pygamemixer.music.play. For game initialization, track is initialized to 0, indicating the current music track being played. Game color list is a copy of the color list used in the game. This list is diff-copied to ensure that modifications don't affect the original list. Direction is initially set to none, indicating that no direction is selected. Launch bubble is to set false, indicating that a bubble is not yet launched. New bubble is set to none, indicating that there's no new bubble yet to be launched. For creating the game elements, an arrow object is created. This represents the arrow used to aim and launch bubbles. A 2D array of bubbles is created using makeBlankBoard, presumably representing the game grid. The colors of the bubbles in the grid are set using setBubbles. The next bubble to be launched is created. With the first color in game color list, the position of next bubble is set to the top right corner of the window. Scoring, a score object is created to keep track of the player's score. This function sets up the initial state of the game, including music, game elements, and scoring. It prepares everything needed for gameplay. While true, this code segments represents the main event loop of the game. For clearing the screen, display surf that fill background color fills the display surface with the background color. This effectively clears the screen before drawing the next frame. Event handling. The loop it iterates over all the events in the game queue using pygame.event.get. For each event, it checks the event of type and handles it accordingly. If the event is a quit event, the terminate function is called the exit game. If the event is a key down event, it checks for a specific key presses. If the left arrow key is pressed, direction is set to left. If the right arrow key is pressed, direction is set to right. If the event is a key up event, it checks for a specific key releases. If the space key is released, launch bubble is set to true, indicating that a bubble should be launched. If the space key is released, the terminate function is called to exit the game. This event loop continuously checks for user input, updates the game state accordingly. It ensures that the game responds to players' actions in real time. This part of the code is the launching of bubbles when the launch bubble flag is set to true. If launch bubble is true, it means the player has initiated the launching of the bubble. If new bubble is none, meaning there's no bubble currently in motion. A new bubble is created with the color of the next bubble. The angle of the new bubble is set to the current angle of the arrow, indicating the direction in which it will be launched. The update method of the new bubble is called to update its position based on its angle of movement. The draw method of the new bubble is called to render it on the screen. It checks if the new bubble has reached the right or left edges on the screen. If the right edge is reached, the angle of the new bubble is adjusted to reflect bouncing off the right wall. If the left edge is reached, the angle of the new bubble is adjusted to reflect bouncing off the left wall. The stop bubble function is called to check if the new bubble has collided with other bubbles or reached the top of the game grid. If so, it stops the bubble's movement and updates the game state accordingly. This part of the code manages the launching of bubbles, their movement their movement collisions detection with the screen edges and interaction with other bubbles in the game grid. It's a crucial aspect of the gameplay loop. This part of the code is to check if your win or lose conditions after the bubbles have been launched and updated. Final bubble list is initialized as an empty list. It iterates through each cell in bubble array, checking if the cell contains a bubble. If a bubble is found, it appended to final bubble list. Additionally, it checks if any bubbles has reached the bottoms of the screen. If so, it returns the total score and lose, indicating the player lost the game. If final bubble list is empty, it means the player has cleared all the bubbles, and it returns the total score and win, indicating the player won the game. If the game is still ongoing, it updates the color list based on the current state of the game grid using the update color list function. If it shuffles the colors list to randomize the orders of colors for the next round. This part of the code handles the win or lose conditions of the game after the bubbles have been launched and updated. It checks if the player has either won or lost and prepares the games for the next round by updating the color list. Part of the code handles the rendering of the next bubble and arrow on the screen when there is no bubble being launched. So, for creating the next bubble, if launch bubble is false, meaning there is no bubble being launched, it creates a new next bubble with the color of the first color in the game color list. It positions the next bubbles at the top right corner of the window. For drawing the next bubble, it calls the draw method of the next bubble to render it on the screen. For covering the next bubble, if launch bubble is true, indicating that the bubble is being launched, it calls the cover next bubble function. This function presumably covers or hides the next bubble to prevent the player from seeing it while aiming and launching the current bubble. This is a common mechanic in bubble shooter. In drawing the arrow, it updates the arrow positions based on the current directions, if any, using the update method of the arrow. It then calls the draw method of the arrow to render it on the screen. So, this part of the code manages the rendering of the next bubble and arrow on the screen, ensuring that they are displayed correctly when no bubble is being launched. It also covers the next bubble to maintain the game's challenge and unpredictability. This part of the code is the final rendering and display of the step of the game loop. So for the setting array position and drawing bubbles, set array first likely updates the position of bubbles in the game grid based on their current state. Draw bubble array is then called to draw the updated bubble array on the screen. For drawing the score.draw is called the draw score on the screen. For managing the music, it checks if the music is currently playing. If it's not playing, it means the current music track has finished. If the current track is the last track in the music list, it resets the track index, indicating that it will start playing the first track again. Otherwise, it increments the track index to switch to the next track in the list. It loads and plays the new music track using pygame.mixer.music.load and pygame.mixer.music.play. For updating the display, pygame.display.update updates the display surface to reflect the changes made in the previous steps. So, FPS clock.tick controls the frame rate of the game by forcing the program executing to achieve the desired frames per second. So, this part of the code ensures that the game stated is updated. All relevant elements are drawn on the screen and the display is refreshed at the specified frame rate. It's the, it's the core of the game loop responsible for rendering the game and maintaining its smooth prediction. For this part, this code are responsible for creating and setting up the initial state of the game grid where bubbles are placed. So, for make blank board functions, this function creates a blank game grid with no bubbles. It initializes an empty list called array. It iterates over each row in the game grid. For each row, it initializes an empty list called column. Within each row, it appends blank to the column list array with times representing the absence of a bubble. Finally, it returns the filled array, representing the initial state of the game grid with no bubbles. Then for setting the bubbles functions, this function sets up the initial bubbles of the game grid. It iterates over the first few rows of the array where bubbles are initially placed. For each cells in the grid, it shuffles the game color list to randomize the bubble colors. It creates a new bubble with the color from the shuffled game color list and the corresponding row and column indices. The new bubble is then placed into the appropriate cell in the array. After placing all the bubbles, it calls setArrayFirst to update the positions of the bubbles in the game grid to ensure that they are correctly positioned for rendering. These functions work together so that to set up all the initial state of the game grid with bubbles placed in the designated rows and columns ready for the gameplay. The function of this code is to handle the positioning of bubbles within the game grid. So for setting the initial positions, it iterates over each cells in the array representing the game grid. For each non-blank cell, It calculates the positions of the corresponding bubbles rectangle based on the row and column indices. The x-coordinate of the bubble is calculated as bubble width multiplied by column plus 5, which places the bubble with a padding of 5 pixels from the left edge of the grid. The y-coordinate of the bubble is calculated as bubble width multiplied by row plus 5, which places the bubble with a padding of 5 pixels from the top edge of the grid. Adjusting positions for staggered rows, it adjusts the x-coordinate of bubbles in every other row to create a staggered pattern. For each bubble in these rows, it adds bubble radius to its x-coordinate to shift it to the right. For adjusting positions for y-coordinate, it adjusts the y-coordinate of bubbles in each row to align them properly in a hexagonal pattern. For each bubble in these rows, it subtracts bubble adjust multiplied by row from its y-coordinate, where bubble adjust is likely a constant representing the vertical adjustment needed for the hexagonal pattern. So this function ensures the bubbles within the game grid are positioned correctly, taking into account the grid structure and any necessary adjustment for alignment and visual appeal. Delete extra bubbles array functions. This function iterates over each cells in the array, representing the game grid. For each non-blank cell, it checks if the right edge of the bubble's rectangle exceeds the width of the window. If the bubble's right edge is beyond the window's width, it sets the corresponding cells in the array to blank, effectively removing the bubble from the grid. Update color list or bubble array function. This function creates a new color list, to store the colors of bubbles in the game grid. It iterates over each cell in the bubble array, representing the game grid. For each non-blank cell, it appends the color of the bubble to the new color list. So the function of this is to contribute to managing the state of bubbles in the game grid. Delete extra bubbles removes bubbles that have been exceeded the window's width, while update color list updates the list of colors based on the current state of the game grid. Code is for managing the colors of bubbles in the game grid and checking for floating bubbles. This function first creates a color set from the new color list, removing duplicate colors. It checks if the number of unique colors in color set is less than 1, meaning there are no unique colors. If there are no unique colors, it creates a new color list with a single color, white, and it returns it. Otherwise, it converts color set back to a list and returns it. Check for floaters, bubble array function. This function initializes an empty list with the column indices of the top row of the game grid where bubble exists. It seems to be checking for bubbles in the top row of the grid, representing floaters, i.e., bubbles not attached to any other bubbles. However, the purpose of this function is not completed in the provided code snippet, as new bubble list is initialized but not used or modified. Managing the color of bubbles and detecting floating bubbles in the game grid. Update color list ensures that only unique colors are included in the list, while check for floaters likely aims to identify bubbles that are not connected to any other bubbles. For I in range, filtering floaters in bubble list. So for I in range, it iterates over the indices in bubble list, which represents the columns of the top row where bubbles exist. For each index, if it's the first index, I is equals to 0, it appends it to the new bubble list. Otherwise, if the current index is greater than the previous index plus 1, it means there's a gap between consecutive columns, indicating a floater. In this case, it appends the current index to new bubble list. After this loop, new bubble list contains the indices of columns where floating bubbles are located. For copying the game board, It creates a diff copy of the bubble array to preserve the original state of the game board. This copy will be used to identify connected bubbles. So, for clearing the game board, it clears the bubble array by setting all cells to blank, effectively removing all bubbles from the grid. For popping floaters, for each column index in new bubble list, it calls a function pop floaters to remove floaters from the game grid. The implementation of pop floaters is likely responsible for identifying and removing floating bubbles in the specified column. So this part of the code is crucial for maintaining the integrity of the game grid by removing floating bubbles, ensuring that only connected bubbles remain for gameplay. Pop floaters. These are the parameters: bubble array, copy of boards, column, and row. So, bubble array. This represents the current state of the game board where bubbles are stored. Copy of board. This is a copy of the game board that's used for comparison. Column represents the column index of the bubble to be popped. Row represents the row index of the bubble to be popped. It has a default value of 0. For boundary check, the function starts with boundary checks to ensure that the specified row and column are within the valid range of the game board. If they are not within the bounds, the functions return early, indicating that no action should be taken. For check for blank cells, if the cell specified by the row column is blank, the function returns early. This is because there's no bubble to pop in an empty cell. For checking for matching bubbles, the function then checks if the bubble in the bubble array matches the corresponding bubble in the copy of board. If they match, it means the bubble has already been checked, so there's no need to pop it again. In this case, the function also returns early. Update bubble array. If the function hasn't returned by this point, it means there's a bubble that needs to be popped. So it updates the bubbles in the bubble array at the specified row and column with the corresponding bubble from the copy of board. This effective pops up the bubbles in the game. This block of code appears to be part of a recursive algorithm to pop adjacent bubbles based on their positions in the game board. Conditions based on row positions. The code blocks start by checking the row positions of the bubble that needs to be popped. If row is equal to 0, it means the bubble is on the top row. If row is an even number, excluding 0, it indicates a specific pattern for the even rows. If row is an odd number, it follows a similar pattern to even rows but with different diagonal bubble position. Column plus 1, row minus 1, and column plus 1, row plus 1. Recursive calls for each adjacent bubble that needs to be checked. The poploader function is called recursively with updated column and row indices. For bubble popping, inside each recursive call, the poploaders functions may further call itself to check adjacent bubbles for popping based on their positions. If the conditions for popping are met, the bubble is popped, which means it's updated in the bubble array. So this part of code is effectively creates a chain reactions for bubble popping, recursively checking and popping adjacent bubbles based on their positions. This part of code is to handle the collisions and interactions between bubbles in the game. So initialization, it initializes an empty list called delete list, which is likely meant to keep track of bubbles that need to be deleted. It loads a sound effect for popcorn.org using Pygame's mixer module, presumably to play a popping sound when bubbles collide. Collision detection loop. It iterates over each cell in the bubble array using nested loops, going through each rows and columns. Within the loop, it checks if the current cell is not empty and if there's a new bubble present. For collision detection, it uses Pygame that is bright that collide rect to check if there's a collisions between the new bubble and the current bubble in the cell. Additionally, it checks if the new bubble has reached the top of the screen. If a collision is detected, or the new bubble reaches the top of the screen, it proceeds to handle the collision. For handling the collisions, if the new bubble reaches the top of the screen, it likely calls a function addBubble to add the new bubble to the top row of the game board. If the new bubble collides with an existing bubbles and its center is below or at the same level as the existing bubble center, it may trigger some actions, possibly popping or adding the new bubble to the game board. This part of the gameplay logic, where collisions between bubbles are detected and appropriate actions are taken, such as adding new bubbles or popping existing ones. However, without seeing the full implementation of the stop bubble functions and the definition of add bubble to the top and other related functions, it's challenging to provide a complete understanding of its functionality. This section of code is the continuation of the collision handling within the loop over the game board. For collision condition, it checks if the new bubble horizontal center is greater than or equal to the horizontal center of the current bubble. Row check. It further checks whether the current row is the top row or an even row. For the positioning the new bubble, if the conditions are met, it sets the new row and column for the new bubble. If the current row is the top row or an even row, the new row is incremented by 1. This likely means the new bubble should be placed below the current bubble. It checks if the cell in the new position is not empty. If it's not empty, it adjusts the new row to be the one row above. This step ensures that the new bubble is placed in the first available empty cell in the column. Then, it assigns the new bubble to the specified positions in the bubble array. It updates the row and column attributes of the new bubble to reflect its new positions to the game board. This code handles the scenario where the new bubble should be placed to the right and below the current bubble if certain conditions are met. It ensures that the new bubble is positioned correctly and does not overlap with existing bubbles in the game board. For the else conditions, these conditions check if the new bubble's horizontal center is less than to the horizontal center of the current bubble. This condition likely checks if the new bubble should be positioned to the left and below the current bubble. Then, for the positioning the new bubble, if the condition is met, it sets the new row and column for the new bubble. It increments both of the row and column by 1. This likely means the new bubble should be placed diagonally to the bottom right of the current bubble. It checks if the cell in the new position is not empty. If it's not empty, it adjusts the new row to be the one new row above. This step ensures that the new bubble is placed in the first available empty cell in the diagonal direction. It assigns the new bubble to the specified positions in the bubble array. It updates the row and column attributes of the new bubble to reflect its new positions in the game board. This code is to handle where the new bubble should be placed diagonally to the bottom right of the current bubble if certain conditions are met. It ensures proper positionings of the new bubble and avoids overlap with existing bubbles in the game board. This elif is for positioning the new bubble when its horizontal center is less than to the horizontal center of the current bubble. These conditions check if the new bubble's horizontal center is less than the horizontal centers of the current bubble. These conditions likely checks if the new bubble should be positioned to the left and below the current bubble. If the current row is the top row of an even row, row is equals to 0 or row 2% is equals to 0, it calculates the new column as column minus 1. If the calculated new column is less than 0, it sets it to 0 to prevent negative indices. It checks if the cell in the new position is not empty. It assigns the new bubble to the specified positions in the bubble array. It updates the row and column attributes of the new bubble to reflect its new positions in the game board. If the current row is not a top row or an even row, it seems to fall back to a similar logic used in the previous sections to place the new bubble below the current bubble. This code ensures the proper positionings of the new bubble based on the relative positions and parity of the current bubble on the game board. This elif is to handle the another situation where the new bubble's vertical center is less than the vertical center of the current bubble. This condition checks if the new bubble's vertical center is less than the vertical centers of the current bubble. Additionally, it checks if the new bubble's horizontal center is greater than or equal to the horizontal center of the current bubble. This is probably to determine if the new bubble should be placed to the right or left of the current bubble. If the condition is met, it checks whether the current row is the top row or an even row. For the positioning new bubble, if the conditions are met, it sets the new row and column for the new bubble. If the current row is the top row or an even row, it positions the new bubble one row above the current bubble. It checks if the cell in the new position is not empty. It assigns the new bubble to the specified positions in the bubble array. It updates the row and column attributes of the new bubble to reflect its new positions in the game board. Else, is this block executes if the new bubble vertical center is less than the vertical center of the current bubble. Additionally, it checks if the new bubble's horizontal center is less than the horizontal center of the current bubble. Positioning the new bubble, it sets the new row and column for the new bubble. The new row is calculated as one row above the current row. The new column is calculated as one column to the right of the current column. For boundary check, it checks if the cell in the new position is not empty. If it's not empty, it adjusts the new row to be the one row below. For assigning the new bubble, it assigns the new bubble to the specified positions of the bubble array. Updating bubble attributes. It updates the row and column attributes of the new bubble to reflect its new positions in the game board. elif. This elif is to handle the case where the new bubble's vertical center is less than or equal to the vertical center of the current bubble. For collision condition, this block executes if the new bubble's vertical center is less than or equal to the vertical center of the current bubble. Additionally, it checks if the new bubble's horizontal center is less than or equal to the horizontal center of the bubbles of the current bubble. For positioning the new bubble, it sets the new row and column for the new bubble. The new row is calculated as one row above the current row. The new column is calculated as one column to the left of the current column. Boundary check. It checks if the cell in the new position is not empty. Assigning the new bubble. It assigns the new bubble to the specified positions in the bubble array. Updating bubbles attributes. It updates the row and column attributes of the new bubble to reflect its new positions in the game board. This code ensures proper positionings of the new bubble above or at the same level and to the left at the same level of the current bubble, avoiding overlap with existing bubbles and maintaining the integrity of the game board. This else is to handle the case where the new bubble doesn't collide with any existing bubbles or reach the top of the game board. For positioning the new bubble, if the new bubble's horizontal center is not greater than the horizontal center of the current bubble and its vertical center is not less than the vertical center of the current bubble, it sets the new row and column for the new bubble. In this case, It sets the new row as one row above the current row, maintaining the current column. For boundary check, it checks if the cell in the new position is not empty. Assigning the new bubble, it assigns the new bubble to be specified positions in the bubble array. Updating bubble attributes. It updates the row and column attributes of the new bubble to reflect its new positions in the game board. Popping bubbles. Af- After the new bubble is placed in its positions, it calls the pop bubbles functions. Passing the updated row and column, the color of the new bubble and the delete list as arguments. These functions likely checks for bubbles to pop based on the new bubble's positions and color. Checking for bubble popping, it checks if the length of the delete list of the bubble is greater than or equal to 3. If the condition is met, it enters a loop to iterate over each positions in the delete list. For each positions in the delete list, it plays a popping sound and sets the corresponding positions in the bubble array to blank. Checking for floating bubbles. After popping bubbles, it calls the check for floaters functions, likely to check if there are any remaining floating bubbles that need to be popped. Updating score. It updates the score based on the bubbles that were popped. Resetting plugs. It sets launch bubble to false and new bubble to none, indicating that there is no bubble currently being launched. Returning updated values. It returns launch bubble, new bubble, and score. These are values are likely used by the game loop or other parts of the game logic to determine the next actions to take. This add bubble to top is to add a new bubble to the top row of the game board bubble array. Calculating column position, it calculates the positions of the new bubble on the top row based on its horizontal center. It subtracts the bubble radius from the horizontal center to find the left side of the bubble. It divides these values by the width of a bubble to determine the column index where the bubble should be placed. Determining the column, it uses the fractional part of the division result to determine if the bubble's horizontal center falls closer to the left or right. Copying the bubble, it makes a copy of the bubble and places it in the determined column on the top row of the bubble array. Setting the row, it sets the row index of the new bubble to 0, indicating that it's placed on the top row. Returning position, it returns the row and columns indices of the newly added bubble. This code of the new bubble is properly positioned on the top row of the game board, taking into account its horizontal center and the width of the bubbles. Pop bubbles functions is responsible for identifying and marking bubbles for popping based on certain criteria. Boundary checks. It starts with boundary checks to ensure that the specified row and column indices are within the valid range of the game board. Empty cell check. If the cell specified by the row and column indices is empty, the functions return early. Color check. It checks if the colors of the bubble at the specified row and column matches the given color. Existing in delete list check. It iterates over the delete list, which likely contains positions of bubbles already marked for popping. If the bubble at the specified row and column already exists in the delete list, it returns early. Marking bubble for popping. If the function hasn't returned by this point, it means the specified bubbles meets the criteria for popping. If row, it calls the pop bubbles functions for the four adjacent bubbles around the specified bubble position. Bubble to the left, pop bubbles. Bubble to the right, pop bubbles. Bubble below, pop bubbles. Diagonal bubble to the bottom left, pop bubbles. Bubble array, row plus 1, column minus 1, color, and delete list. Bubble popping. Each pop bubbles functions call checks the specified adjacent bubble for popping based on its positions, color, and whether it's already marked for popping in the delete list. This code ensures when a bubble on the top row is popped, all adjacent bubbles are checked for popping as well. It recursively triggers the popping of adjacent bubbles if they meet the criteria for popping, creating a chain reactions of bubble popping. If this it calls the pop bubbles functions for the six adjacent bubbles or the specified bubble positions. Bubble below, pop bubbles, diagonal bubble to the bottom, bubble above, diagonal bubble to the top left, and bubble to the right and bubble to the left. Pop bubbles, bubble array row, column -1, color, delete list. Bubble popping, each pop bubbles functions call checks the specified adjacent bubble per popping based on its positions, colors, and whether it's already marked for popping in the delete. This code ensures that when a bubble on odd row is popped, all adjacent bubbles are checked for popping as well. It recursively triggers the popping of adjacent bubbles if they meet the criteria for popping, creating a chain reactions of bubble popping. This code defines a function called drawBubbleArray that takes a 2D array called array as input. This function is likely a part of a game developed using the Pygame library. It iterates over each row in the array using a for loop with the range functions, which goes from 0 to array height -1. Inside the first loop, it iterates over each columns in the current row using another for loop with the range functions, which goes from 0 to the length of the row -1. For each element in the array, it checks if it's not equal to a constant value blank. If it's not equal to blank, it assumes that the element represents a bubble object and call its draw method. The draw method is assumed to be a method of the bubble object that handles drawing the bubble on the screen. This function is responsible for drawing all the bubbles stored in the array onto the game screen. The specific appearance and behavior of each bubble object will be defined elsewhere in the code. Make display. This function initializes the display surface and returns it along with its rectangle. Display surf is equals to pygame dot display dot set mode window width window height. This line creates the display surface with the dimensions specified by Windows width and Windows height. Display rect, display surf that get that rect. These lines get the rectangle that represents the area of the display surface. Display surf that fill, BG color. This line fills the display surface with the background color defined by BG color. Display surf that convert. This line converts the surface to improve rendering performance. Pygame.display.update. This line updates the display to show the changes made. Pygame.display.update. It returns the display surface, edits rectangle. Terminate. These functions quit the Pygame library and exits the program. Pygame.quit. This line quits the Pygame, freeing up resources used in the library. Sys.exit. This line exits the program immediately. Cover next bubble. These functions cover the area where the next bubble will appear with the white rectangle. White rect is equals to pygame.rect 0, 0 bubble width. This line creates a rectangular object with dimensions of bubble width by bubble width. White rect at bottom. Window weight. This line sets the bottom edge of the rectangle to the bottom of the game window. White rect at right. Window width. This line sets the right edge of the rectangle to the right side of the game window. Pygame.draw.rect. Display surf BG color. White rect. This line draws a filled rectangle with the background color over the specified area on the display surface, effectively covering it. End screen score, win or lose. This function displays the end of screen of the game, showing the player's score and whether they won or lost. End font is equals to pygame.font that says font Helvetica 20. This line selects a font Helvetica with size 20 for rendering the end screen message. End message 1 and font that render. You win or lose, or your score is STR score. Press enter to play again. True black BG color. This line refers the end screen message, including whether the player won or lost, their score and instructions to play again. Display surf that peel BG color. This line fills the entire display surface with a background color to clear any previous contents. Display surf that bleed. This line bleeds the end screen message onto the display surface at the specified rectangle. Pygame that display that update. This line updates the display to show the end screen. While true, this while loop runs immediately until explicitly terminated. Inside the loop, it iterates over all the events that Pygame detects using Pygame.event.get. If the event type is quit, it calls the terminate functions, which quits Pygame and exits the program. If the event type is key up, it further checks which key was released. If the release key is kturn, it exits the loop and presumably continues executions outside of this loop. If the release key is kescape, it also calls the terminate function to quit the game. This part of the code checks whether the script is being run directly, not imported as a module. If it's being run directly, it calls the main functions, which is assumed to be defined elsewhere in the code.